Hey everybody, got another video here for you. So it's time to start a new build. And like the first video in pretty much all my build series, the first video of this is just going to be the battle plan and a show and tell on parts. So if you're looking for action, you can dip out right now and we'll catch you in the next episode. But if you want to see some cool stuff, stick around. So the guitar is going to be a Headless 6-string tail tuner. And so it'll have a string through above the nut up on the headstock and then come down and have 6 tuners along the bottom left side of the body. So this is going to be guitar number 16, and I don't have a name for it yet, but the theme for the guitar can probably be summed up in a single word, and that would be copper. So we'll start with the woods. As usual, I'm starting with a Alcanal brand Ibanez replacement 24 fret neck. Infamous orange dot, and I just measured this one, or actually a different one, and off previous build, and they're a 16-inch radius neck. I thought they were something less. I've seen them advertised at something weird like 14.7, which works out to about 375 millimeters or something, but yeah, they're 16s. So, rosewood fretboard, and this one has some pretty nice figuring in it. And of course, maple neck, scarf joint, and as always, beautiful maple necks. I've never been disappointed with an orange dot ever. Well, let me think. I probably bought 30 or 40 over the last like 6 years. And I think one had a bad trust. No, I can't even swear that it was one of these. It was probably something off of some guitar. So, yeah. I've had a couple dozen of these necks on builds, 4 builds, and no problems that I can recall ever. And the fretwork's, okay. This one's feeling a little rough. Then again, it's the middle of winter, and temperature goes here from... the shop's not heated 24/7. And for example, I came in this morning and it was 25 degrees in here. And then, once it warmed up, it was 80 degrees in here. And yeah, and the humidity goes back and forth accordingly. So, but anyway, so yeah, we got some nice rosewood and some nice maple. And then because of all the copper that's going to be used on this build, it gives it kind of a rustic vibe or look. And in keeping with that, I decided to go with raw edge cedar for the body blank. And so, yeah, that's a live edge there. And I don't know if this stuff has been like stained at the factory or if that's the natural color or what, but so this is the body blank, and I'm going to try to preserve as much of the raw edge as possible when I cut the body out of this. It looks like I'll be taking the heel out here and then coming out, keeping this entire edge, raw edge, live edge, and then the body will come kind of back like this and then incorporate this knot as well. Something like that. So that's the woods, and now for the pretty stuff. All right, starting with the neck, I haven't decided what I'm going to do about that part of the headstock. It's got to have that much so that it can hang on a guitar hanger. The string throughs will go like somewhere above the nut line. It's going to get a locknut on it, and then it'll have string throughs like here and here and here and here and here and here, or something like that. And I suppose I'll try to incorporate a truss. Yeah, I've got a truss rod cover for it. So yeah, it's going to get a truss rod cover, and I'll have to figure out some place to put the string throughs. I can put them like that around the cover maybe, or maybe in a diagonal like that or something. And I haven't really figured out. This is all going to be real estate for doing something decorative. So, and it's going to get the trapezoid profile and the flat heel and the triangular heel, the normal mods. And it'll be stained to match the cedar. And that takes care of the neck. As far as the neck hardware goes, so you can generally tell how complicated a build is going to be based on how many bags of parts it is. And normally, your normal build, all the parts will fit in one bag. You'll have one bag of parts, you'll have a body blank and a neck, and that's the entire guitar right there. This is a more involved build, and it's actually gotten up to 2 bags of parts. I think I only had one build ever that was 3 bags of parts, and that was the Robo Tuner. So, yeah, so this is a more involved build. So let me dig out the hardware for what's going on the neck. So as I said, it's going to have some kind of string throughs going on somewhere in this area here. And that means you're going to need ferrules for it. And I've had to play this game in the past with trying to squeeze regular ferrules into small spaces. So this time I decided I've got copper tubing in a very small diameter, but big enough to get a guitar string through. And added the small hacksaw to the list of just what you need tools for the shop. And so use the hacksaw to cut this stuff and make the ferrules, and then just like drill all the way through the headstock and press them in with a little bit of C8 glue. So that'll take care of the string throughs. In copper, of course. And as I said, it's going to get a locknut, and there's our Floyd Rose locknut in hammered copper. And it just so happens that it's an orange dot, so it already has copper-colored inserts for the fretboard. They're white on the side, but they are copper-colored on the top. I haven't even thought to look for copper-colored neck bolts. Maybe I should do that. Until then, I guess I'll be using black, which is the standard color I use. Now, down on the body, so the neck bolts would go right about here, wherever that drawing is. There's the drawing. Yeah, so black neck bolts for now, I guess. Yeah, so those are the neck bolts there. Okay, here's the bridge, once again in a copper, and it's a roller TOM. So it's going to get a roller TOM right there. So to go with the overall theme of copper, I was also going with rustic, and that's why I went with the cedar and the live edge. And in keeping with the rustic, these are the tuners. They're open hardware in an antique brass, I believe it is, with wood knobs. And since it's a tail tuner, you need 6 right-hand tuners for the guitar. Kind of like this. And it comes in 3x3s. So I had to get 2 of them in order to get 6 right hands. So now I've got an extra 6 left hands I can use for something or another. conventional headstock build, perhaps. But yeah, it'll have 6 of these guys in a row going across. Okay, so there you see all the 6 tuners, and this is the pickup set for it. This is a set of Saphue brand Invader styles with clear bobbins so you can see all that beautiful copper. And they're going to go right there. Then for the controls, it's going to get an off single double for the bridge and an off single double for the neck and a phase switch so that you can throw like the bridge out of phase with respect to the neck. And then we'll get an output jack as well. And the off single double switch will allow you to choose between the pickups off, single coil, or double coil humbucker mode. And so you can turn the bridge on humbucker and the neck on humbucker and get both pickups output. You can turn on either the bridge or the neck humbucker and get just single bridge or neck tones. And then you can turn either one to the single coil also. So any combination thereof. And for mounting up the electronics, it's going to get a copper jack plate here. And then the hole will be bored all the way through the body, and the switch will be mounted from behind into this plate. Then for the switches, it's going to get a little plate, control panel plate, made out of course, copper. And it'll mount the off single double switches and the phase switch. And it's got the holes for all 3 will be bored all the way through. I might even actually just open this up to be a hole all the way through. And it'll have a cover kind of like the control plate on a telly. And there's the little antique copper or antique brass, so I guess they're copper, for putting the control plate on. So yeah, it'll have a copper control plate there. And over here, the copper will also be used to make the depth pick guard between the 2 pickups. And then, in keeping with the rustic theme, all the wiring, instead of being internally routed and having rear-mounted switches and stuff like I've done in recent builds, this is going to go back to an older method where all the wires were routed externally along the sides and back of the body and were held on with little brass pins. And in order to provide shielding for that, I've gotten braided copper tubing, cable sheathing basically. And yeah, you can take this stuff, it looks like it's flat, but it's actually hollow supposedly. And you can run pickup wires through it and bridge ground wires and all the rest of that. And the idea is that all the wires are going to run on the outside of the guitar in this stuff all the way down to the various and sundry switches and so. And it's all going to be held on with these brass pins. And it's all going to be external, like on the side of the guitar and on the back, that kind of a thing. And yeah, so that's the special decorative sort of trick for the electronics. Oh, forgot the truss rod cover. There's the copper truss rod cover. It's a triangular shape. It's probably plastic, not really copper. But it's the right color, right? And then to top it all off, of course, copper strap locks and suede leather tan strap. And there's the kill button for it. Too bad they don't make a copper colored one. Oh, I did manage to find brass for the leg bar thumb screws, so at least that's something. Yeah, so from this here, you can kind of see from this layout more or less what the guitar is going to look like, get a general idea. And that's everything. That's all the parts. So, yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Well, I think that's going to do it for this video. So, until the next one, everybody, have a good one.